Hey guys, it's me, MTG Angel, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about a lot of the stuff that's going on in my personal. There's always plays all over the TCG market. There's plays in 151, and then there might be something with Perfect Order, and then there's Ascended Heroes happening, and then there's the Lord of the Rings stuff that's going on, and there's just so much going on. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Secret Lair plays where they're all in stock. Nothing got sold out. There's just stuff flying left and right. Go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know if there's something that you're actually making a play on. Because for me, there's just opportunity rolling everywhere. And actually, a lot of times I like these bull markets. Bull markets are really when you can make plays. And I would say bear markets are where you kind of just start consolidating. You buy some product and you forget about it for a bit and you throw it in your closet, and you got it on discount and it goes up in a year or two and maybe doubles, triples, quadruples. That's where the bear market really plays. But right now we're in a giga bull market for TCGs. There was a little bit of stalling that happened, but let's jump right into some of the plays I've been making. So if you've heard from a lot of these any of these content creators, or maybe you saw on one of your websites that you get product from, Lord of the Rings commander decks are getting reprinted. Now, these peaked crazy. Some of the individual decks were peaking at 80, 90, 100. I think Hosts of Mordor peaked at like 140, 135. And there's some websites that you can buy the entire set of four for about 170. I got some at 155 because I had a $40 off discount. I got one for 170 from Gone Rogue Games. And another thing happened and this is actually perhaps something I need to keep in mind of a new playbook. So Amazon had released a sale for the Hosts of Mordor commander deck, $50 each, limit 4. So I bought the limit 4. And then I logged in onto a business account. I got another limit 4. So I was happy with 8. I had told a friend, hey, can you order some for me? And so I was going to ride out with 12. When he went to order, the Amazon one had sold out. But in its place, there was a seller that had an automated AI repricing, where his for $89 got repriced to $50. So his entire stock was now being blown out for $50. So I got in another couple orders for $50. There was no limit. Amazon had a limit, but the seller, there was no limit. You could just buy it all. So my friend got in for $5 for $50. I put in another couple orders for $5. So I think in the end, I got about 20, 22, 23 Hosts of Mordor decks for $50. Now, if you compare that, why would I invest in some of the runts from the commander decks, which was, like the Food and Fellowship, the Elven Council. Food and Fellowship was pretty good. Elven Council and Riders of Rohan. I don't know how to say it. Those I would call the runts of the commander deck set of 4. Why would I invest in those when the premium Big Daddy of Sauron, that one was the one that peaked at 135. So I'm good. I'm pretty good. I've got 3 commander decks. I've got 4 commander deck displays on pre-order. I've got about 22 Hosts of Mordor on pre-order. I'm good. Now, if those go up to $135 again, in a year or two, I've more than doubled my money on the Hosts of Mordor. And then I can start selling them down. Maybe they go up to crazy numbers like the Sliver decks. And think about it. Yes, we're getting the reprint right now, but we're getting the Hobbit set really soon. When the Hobbit set drops, will they reprint these more? And not only to mention that, but this is kind of like a mini reprint of the Lord of the Rings collector products, because they have the sample packs. Now, some of the sample pack cards you could only get in the commander or in the collector product. So phenomenal reprint. I would definitely be looking around. There's going to be some people dropping the displays. You might be able to get another type of AI repricing, little accident, little oopsie doopsie from one of these Amazon sellers. But I would be looking up to pick up some of these displays and just throw it into the back and let it ride for a year or two. Commander decks have been insane plays recently, and when reprints drop, that's when you want to go in. So I got some for Bloomburrow. I got some for Duskmorn from those Sam's Club $10 sales. Those are going to be riding into the future. None of the Big Daddy for those. It's just the little runts. And now I've got a buttload of the Lord of the Rings Commander decks, and these things have just been doing great for me. I picked up some when Costco dropped them on sale, and when those rose in price, I was loving it. I've still got some of those deluxe editions. I'm hoping some people want to pick those up for Christmas, or maybe on some sale or whatever. Maybe when Hobbit comes up, someone wants to get it for some gift or something. So we're going to see how that goes. So other than that, 151, I was talking about it. It's on fire. I'm not going to talk too much on it, but it really, if you don't have any 151, it's not too late. It's never too late when it comes to products like this, which are going to become these like goated sets. Because as you can see with Evolving Skies, yes, Evolving Skies could retail or could be selling on the secondary market for $200, $300, $400. That could seem like a lot, but doesn't seem like that much once it goes to $2,500 a box. So it can always get worse. Pick up a little bit, if you don't have any, just pick up a little bit. Pick up an auxiliary product. Just pick up something and write it out. That's a wave that you really want to kind of FOMO in on. If you don't have any, you kind of want to FOMO in a little bit. There's also some plays with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collector booster boxes. The supply is low on the open market. That's one that you want to at least have a box or two, or if you can afford it, a case. Depends on how you feel about it. If there's not really much conviction, buy a box or two and just see what happens. There's all these little products that you can be buying and arbitraging on. I'm seeing a lot of products that you can buy, and I don't want to give away my sauce too soon right now, but some things that I'm buying for $475, and I'm able to sell it for about $900 before fees. So after fees, let's say it's $800. I'm doubling it by just straight up buying and opening up products and selling it. So that's pretty freaking good. That's pretty impeccable. Lots of plays, lots of different things, and yes, it's a turbulent time. All I want to say is, if you're scared that the economy is going to blow up, well, the last thing you have to worry about is your small little bags, your small bank account. If the economy blows up, you're wrecked anyways. It's not like the amount of money that you're trying to hold on to is really going to save you, because think about it. If you have cash and the whole cash system gets wrecked, you could see some insane price action. So I really wouldn't worry about holding on to like the pennies that you have. I would consider, not over leveraging, but I would consider picking up some investments, especially if you don't have any, especially if this is something that you're interested in. The TCG market, I feel, is only getting started. Not only as people start to legitimize TCG investing, but as people grow up, people who grew up with this stuff, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, maybe even they grew up with TCG investing. And now as they get older, they're like, okay, well now I can get some real money and pump that into it. So really consider, don't pass up the opportunity and think that we're at the top and it's over. Because that's what anyone is feeling. That's the fear. That's the FUD. There's two sides of the coin. There's the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which makes you want to sell. And there's the FOMO that makes you want to buy in and all in. So you don't really want to be too far on one side of the coin. You want to have your conviction. You want to move in where you can, where you accept, where you like. If you see some deals here and there, those are the opportunities. Like I said, with that Mordor thing, I struck hard. I struck big. That's a deal. It's like whatever you can do to sometimes make those deals happen if you have to sell a little bit of product. But I see those things easily doubling in a year, maybe two. Easily doubling in 2 years. Because when did Lord of the Rings even come out? These things, this is probably going to be the last reprint. Who knows how big it was? And man, this thing, I think it's going to take off, especially with this Hobbit set coming out. There's only so much out there. So really consider it, especially when it comes to stuff like what the EV is of the product. Because now that the reprints have kind of happened a couple times, the initial glut of single selling is over with for Lord of the Rings Commander decks. Now, a lot of those singles are going to be dried up, so people are going to want to buy the Commander decks just to break down. And as they break them down, they're going to buy them up off the open market. When Hobbit comes out, people are going to want to go back and pick up some of these Commander products. And let's say it takes 3 years. Let's say. Well, oh my God, that's doubling in 3 years. I'm happy with that. That's a good investment. So there's plays everywhere, guys. Let me know what you're doing in the comment section. I told you a couple of the ones I'm doing right now. Big one being the Lord of the Rings Commander decks. Man, those are going to be insane. Right now is the time you want to be looking around and pick those up. Don't let that opportunity pass. It's going to be another situation where, in a month or two, you got people like Rudy going, "Oh, I told you so. I told you it took 15 years on you." And, you want to be watching those videos when you got some in the closet. You don't have to have as many many boxes as Rudy, but you want to definitely have some in the closet so you can feel some of those good energies and kind of high five each other and circle jerk, and you want to have some, a little bit of exposure. So that's pretty much it, guys. Wish you guys all luck with your specs. It's Friday. It's been a good week. It's been a good month. And it's going to continue to be a good year for TCG investors. Good luck, guys. Happy stacking. Get some Bitcoin.